It is a straightforward situation for Seattle in Arizona this week. Hello 12s, I'm Jen Mueller with a preview of the regular season finale between the Hawks and the Cardinals. And as a result of a loss last week, Seattle needs help from Chicago to get into the playoffs and a win in the desert.
We can't let what happened last week come into this week because it's an important game. You know, obviously we need other things to play in our favor, but none of that means anything if we don't do our job. And so our job is to make sure we go out there, perform better, win, and see what happens.
Here's what happened the last time these teams met. Seattle won back in Week 7, overcoming 3 turnovers in a 2010 victory. But the personnel looks different this time around, with the return of Kyler Murray and James Conner from injury. Both were key contributors in the Cardinals' come-from-behind win against Philadelphia last week.
He's just a really good back. I mean, the way he finishes runs, the way he reads the defense, and things like that. He does a really, really good job for them, and he adds another dynamic to that.
The threat of the quarterback is always part of it. You know, he's rushed for over 200 yards in his 7 games back, you know, so he's getting 30, 40 yards a game, something like that. And that factor does add in, you know, and so we've got to make sure and try to keep Kyler somehow in control, which is almost impossible because he's just so elusive.
Conner rushed for 128 yards against the Eagles and has run for 439 in the last 4 games. As a team, the Cardinals have rushed for more than 200 yards in 2 of their last 3 games. Their offensive line does take a hit with left tackle DJ Humphries on injured reserve after tearing his ACL last week. But for Seattle, it'll come down to better tackling than last week when they gave up 202 rushing yards to the Steelers.
There were some opportunities in executing better up front that we didn't get done. You know, that means you got blocked once in a while. But, you know, we had 5 missed tackles on 1 play, you know, and so that was an ugly memory in all of our minds. And we did way better in the second half than we did in the first half. So we know that it's there. So we just got to make sure we capture it early and make sure we come out of the chutes better than we have.
Arizona ranks in the bottom 10 in scoring, averaging just under 19 points a game. Tight end Trey McBride leads the team in receiving yards.
He's a talented, confident player. Young guy. He has some speed. You know, he's a high 4'4", 4'5" guy. He's physical. I think he's on the rise. So you're going to hear about his name probably for the next coming years, and you know we're going to be seeing him for the next coming years.
The Cardinals' defense, meanwhile, allows just over 27 points a game. That's second most in the league. They have also given up over 400 yards of offense in 4 of their last 6 games. But don't overlook the impact of a local product in the secondary.
You can't help but just be attracted to watching Budda. Budda's really featured in the scheme, and he's all over the place, and he's always been such an exciting player to watch. I've loved his style of play over the years.
Budda Baker is everywhere on the field. They got a young cornerback, number 24. Their back end is solid, and they play tough, and they're a hard defense.
The Cards defense has been gashed in the run game. They're allowing 143 rushing yards a contest. That's the most in the league. Ken Walker ran for 105 yards in the previous meeting, his only 100-yard rushing game of the season. Seattle is 6-0 when rushing for 100 yards this year.
Ken Walker, again, is one of the better backs in this league, one of the better guys in space. We got to continue to get him the ball. We know how good he is when he gets rolling, and we know the effects that has on the offense. So it's always positive things when he's doing a great job.
The scoreboard watching starts at 1:25 on Sunday. You can find that game on Fox 13 and the Seahawks Radio Network.